Salut tout le monde, it's your boyadero, Lukael. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. This is episode 8, so in the last episode we had a short chat with Lena, the cryptozoologist's wife. And then we went to finally have a talk with Plaisance, the owner of the bookstore, who tasked us kind of semi-reluctantly to resolve this curse situation that's on the commercial district. And so we went behind the curtain and found this whole abandoned building that we're currently exploring. I wanted to take a moment to talk about something. You know, I love making these videos for you guys. I love getting to share my first time experience with these games with all of you. It does come with its share of disadvantages. The main one, I guess, being that because I'm playing these games kind of not as often as you would if you were playing it like normally on your own time, because usually I'll play them like only once a week. It does make it really easy to forget about things that happened kind of earlier in the game, because if I was playing this game normally, I would have probably finished it in like maybe 2 weeks, you know, something like that. And so everything gets to stay fresh in your mind. But because I'm only playing about like 2 hours per week, some stuff that happened at the beginning of the game, for me, it's already been like 2 months. In most games, you know, I'll just kind of pay attention the best I can and hope that I remember the key points, you know. Sometimes when there's more of a mystery to solve, I'll take some notes. But my frequent confusion has made me realize that this is just not enough for a game as complex as Disco Elysium. And maybe this is a habit that I should take for most games, really. But so what I've decided to do is I've gone back to kind of skim through my whole playthrough until now, and I've been taking some pretty extensive notes, and instead of doing them on paper, I've taken them on a notepad on my computer. So like every little piece of information that I thought might be relevant to the case or like to the world and stuff like that, I've tried to summarize it as best I can, which first of all was a nice little refresher of things that I'd kind of forgotten already. So yeah, I've taken down some pretty extensive notes. I hope it helps me kind of remember the lore and the case and stuff like that. So I should be a little bit less confused now. Of course, just the fact that I'm kind of playing this in front of you guys and having to focus on a few different things, my attention span is a little bit decreased compared to usual. And I'm also just kind of dumb and distracted by nature, but I'm gonna try my best to really follow along, really kind of pay attention to things. And I haven't been getting any negative comments or anything. You guys have been very kind, but I hope it's gonna make things maybe a little less frustrating to watch perhaps. So as always, thank you so much for joining me, and without any further ado, let's jump right back in. Also, I'm noticing my voice is a little rough today, so I'm sorry if my my voice cuts off at any point. I'm also a little bit tired, but that's all right. We're going to push on through. So we were exploring this, right, the basement of this abandoned building. There's a bunch more stuff to see, so let's keep exploring. Kim, you're kind of in the way there. Ooh, insane mesh tank top +1 drama. Is that so? That looks pretty cool. Clinically insane. Where did you even get that one? No, really, who put it in that drawer? No further comments. Wear it at your own risk. Okay. Well, we won't really see it, even if I wear it, because of my jacket, so... but I'll maybe put it on later? We'll keep that in mind. Intercom wires running into the breaker box, and then we've got a staircase that leads... Oh! Wait, could we always go down here? It was probably locked, right? Originally? I don't think you were able to come down here before. Have I checked this?
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
So what I'm thinking is maybe this curse of this building being like really bad for business, is it really just that these old like machines have been plugged in and are like consuming a lot of electricity? Because they could have very easily just come down here and kind of noticed it and unplugged them, right? But like, I remember it mentioned like, oh, this seems to consume a lot of electricity, so I guess we could just unplug it. The ice cream maker. Let's just unplug both, I guess.
An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now.
Okay. And maybe we can open it more easily if it's unplugged?
Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
All right.
Why did you do that?
It's black. It's not like it's the red one. Because it's black, the color of immeasurable cosmos. I don't know why I unplugged it. I do things without any reason. Well, I'm thinking because it's gonna save Plaisance some money, right? Why are you even asking me? I guess I just unplugged it.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing.
A cable missing? Can I try and open it again?
This orange machine is dead still.
Okay, you do get +2 because the machine is unplugged here, which still isn't much. It's only 3%, so I'm not even gonna bother trying that. Interesting, and now this is unplugged as well.
The beer's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside the fridge slowly melting. The power has been cut off.
Alright, well, it was really plugged for no reason. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now. And then some kind of furnace.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Kim, what is this thing? Is it a furnace? Yeah.
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney.
Oh. We still have yet to talk to this entity, this witch that apparently lives in the chimney. He opens the door and gingerly peeks inside.
No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Oh, that's upsetting. Let's look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
This must be the witch.
What are you doing?
The lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. What? I'm just looking. I'm hallucinating, or maybe it's the entity. I hear the murderer of the hanged man talking. I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
Yeah, maybe. Yell hello into the furnace? I mean, I was just gonna go talk to her, but... Smear your hands with coal? Why would I do that? These voices I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity? Plaisance said it lives in a chimney.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist.
Well.
At least not the supernatural kind.
You know what I mean, Kim.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man.
He sure does, doesn't he? I could yell hello, and then she's gonna be like, are you the one that screamed down there?
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then...
Hello?
Oh. Well, there you go. She answered. You hear a woman's voice answer.
You've awakened the entity.
This is the police. Who's there? I summoned the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Answer me, spirit. Hello, are you there? Speak to me. I've been really like kind of doing more like the normal replies, and I do want to get a little bit weirder. I summoned the ghost.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
Okay. Oh, maybe it wouldn't have been open until we did this, so...
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
Well, there we go.
After you, officer.
She seems quite nice. Let's just leave. Why would I coat my hands with coal? I mean, she sounds very nice. She doesn't sound like a mean witch. Oh, hello. Are you the witch? This tray is full of dice, colorful polyhedral dice, hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Maybe she's like the only remaining employee of this like game company, the ones that were making this Dungeons and Dragons game. Hello?
Hello, I'm Nia.
Ooh. Hello, Nia. Novelty dice maker, a bird-like woman. What's bird-like about her? Sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair. That's a nice little room you've got here.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my milius.
Your milieux, you say? Okay, so probably we did need to scream at her from the chimney before she was gonna open the door. Probably if we'd knocked, she wouldn't have opened. She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now.
She's just a die maker.
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Oh. Hold on, what do you mean by milieus? You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window. Yeah, no, we didn't knock on the door. Or did we? I don't think I did.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
What do you mean by milieu?
Yes, a milieu is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
So she's like a radio operator maybe also?
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages.
Nice.
But some of the stations can be quite interesting.
Oh.
I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
So you were just listening to the radio with some headphones on. That's fair. Especially if no one ever bothers you here. Like, why would you think someone was gonna knock on the door? Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Actually, no.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Sure, I like role-playing games and I need some dice. Maybe, I'm not really sure why I'm here, honestly. No, I was looking for something else. Answers. Squint your eyes mysteriously. I'm not interested in buying dice right now. I'm a police officer and I need to ask some questions. I mean, we could get some dice, sure, but then will I still get to ask her about the courtyard? I was looking for something else.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games.
Does Plaisance know you live in here?
I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
I mean, that's certainly the vibe I'm getting from her. How did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of
Polyhedral?
cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Even in this economy?
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Okay, I'd like to order a die from you. Oh man, they're probably pretty expensive though, right? If you're like a jeweler.
How did I become one? Not especially.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
She nods. This is what she's here for. Do you know the Wirral Untethered setting? I want to die for that. Do you have any curse die? Tell me about your most extraordinary die. I'm sorry, I don't actually know what die I want. Just a normal die for me, please. Very regular. Looking for something to help with my work. With my work? Sure?
I think I have just the right one for you.
She opens the top drawer of her work desk and takes something out. 2 polyhedron, red and blue, are cradled in her palm.
Police colors.
Oh, because I'm a police officer, right?
Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best.
She smiles, almost apologizing.
Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
Catch the die? Ooh, hand-eye coordination is not so good with me.
You overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to do and the 2 dice drop to the floor and scatter in opposite directions, like pearls from a broken
Oh
string.
no.
The blue one disappears down the pit in the center of the room.
I mean, that's kind of new though. You shouldn't be throwing these at me, especially if there's a big giant hole in your room.
Ah, down the drain, like your career. I apologize, officer. That comment was unnecessary.
Why would you say that? That's so mean. She jokes, her eyes striking the remaining polyhedron. Then she catches your eye. Alright, let's just pick it up.
That one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay. The other one was the inverse. They were a set, you see, but now the set is broken.
I mean, I guess if I go down in the chimney, I might find it again.
It's a shame. They might have brought you luck. You definitely need luck in Martinez.
Is she pitying you? Good God, she's pitying you.
Wait, so you give me this for free?
Now, was there anything else?
Can I get another die?
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Do you know the We're All Untethered setting?
Ah, yes. Fortress accident. It's too bad they never finished their game.
Yeah, it's a shame.
The Wiro Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die. Only, instead of plants, it uses motives of ice and death. And loss, of course.
Ice, death, loss. Sounds like you.
Sure.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours.
I mean, I've got somewhere to be in 8 hours, but I could come and get it tomorrow, sure. Why do you need to cast it in resin?
Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect.
I mean, I would also need to buy like the game itself. I wonder if you can actually play this game if you buy it, because like 30 real is a lot of money, but I wonder if you can play like Dungeons and Dragons with Kim. Probably not, but that would be really funny. Sure, it's a deal.
Great, see you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
Can I order another die?
I'm sorry. I'm a bit overloaded just now, so I
okay.
can only produce 1 die per customer.
That's fair. So, what do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
But did you see who did it?
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here.
There's nothing malignant about this woman.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then, the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
Yeah, true. When it's nighttime, you don't really see outside.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
And what do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
She stops to try and come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
Okay. She looks up at the window. Pale light comes in. Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it. And I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
Where do you live? Does she live in like that building we visited? Also, do you really get enough requests for dice that it's enough for you to make a living? Like, this doesn't sound like a full-time job. You wouldn't think there's that many players in Martinez, like, to make a living out of this, but okay. I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Yeah, so there doesn't really seem to be like that many laws or regulations in Martinez. People are kind of just doing whatever they want, which I guess that's good, but It's kind of chaotic.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. Do you know what happened to other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Yeah, all of them. Oh, these are all the people that we saw when we tried calling the phone, right? There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
I bet they are.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut.
Oh.
It's about the confidence.
We got a breakthrough in Kingdom of Conscience. Breakthrough imminent. Okay, I don't think it's complete. I think it's almost complete, I guess. Yeah, it's about the confidence. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded. I would never let anyone androgynous touch my hair, not even if my life depended on it. I guess I'm a simple man. I don't really have any opinions on hairstyles. No, yeah, experimenting is good.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
She tucks a strand of hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
And who was Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard
Zemsk?
he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Oh, that's very nice. How did that community project work out? Judging from the kids I've met so far, it didn't really work, did it? It's true that the kids we've met are pretty rude.
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse.
Oh, shit.
At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
Are you saying that people would just break windows just to... But you still need the money to pay them, don't you?
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milieux. Who would have guessed?
Snuff milieux? So like a snuff radio station?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
I love how even my encyclopedia was like, what is that? I don't even know that. And that was a success too. Cool, very cool about the debris, but what's a snuff milieu? It's a shame about those windows. I'm not even going to ask it. No, I want to know.
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Ew.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Kim's like, I know what you're going to say. Before you start saying you're going to investigate it, it's not our problem. Someone's already on it.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Then she lets the thought go, yeah, how would you even catch them? Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist?
Oh.
No, he mostly just did drugs.
Who doesn't?
Anything else?
What about those creepy mannequins?
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists? What in the name of...
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket.
I mean, now that you say it, it makes sense, but like, even though we have a lot of activists in our world, I've never heard of like insect activists. No one ever seems to care about the insects' rights.
And, naturally, All the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in Kyton from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
They would have needed to switch to like a different thing. I'm glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects. But insects don't have any brains or feelings. I don't know if I agree with that. They got what they deserved. Making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea. Yeah, I'm glad someone took care of the little guys.
Really? Anyway.
She looks at the windowsill where a dead fly is laying on its back, legs curled up in a bow tie.
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard to say why.
They probably aren't. So like all this stuff that we found in the abandoned studios, I figured they were just all stuff that belonged to that game company. Like the mannequins were also for the game and like all of this stuff. But I guess they were all like remnants of previous businesses. Like why is it all piled up in one place? I guess someone just stuffed like all the remaining shit in this one abandoned part of the building. And that's not necessarily where they were. I don't know. What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream.
Yeah.
After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Timotiri. Interesting. What do these transmissions say? That's illegal, running off with companies' money like that. Why hasn't he been arrested?
Sure, it's illegal, but it's not exactly anything extraordinary in business. Besides, Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around.
Wait, I want to know what the transmission said.
They were made by, honestly, I think the usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
The lieutenant is stern.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive. I mean, it did seem pretty like groundbreaking as a concept. It doesn't seem like something anyone's done in this world so far, so...
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on.
I mean, they kind of are, right? Especially in this world where like companies are given a monopoly by like the kings. Like all the Indo tribes were given a monopoly, so like it's really hard to compete with that.
In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
So you're saying they didn't have enough willpower? How judgmental.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important.
Well, showing up to work on time is incredibly hard, I agree. That's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great. You're right, they should have just tried harder. They had everything needed to succeed. You know, that's too bad.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
I don't care about their other ideas, I just want to hear about the bear. Alright, what about the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth.
Okay, that's extremely cheap.
And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back, disapproving. Like the girl in Frit, you mean?
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritte does the same thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I know a girl just like that. She works in Frit as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly. I mean, I wouldn't say she's not friendly. She's just kind of bored. What did they expect? 20 cents per hour is dog's pay. I'm surprised they showed up to work at all. That's an award-winning idea. How else do you choose people around you? I don't have an opinion on employing teens. I just want to know, did it work out for the business? Yeah, no, what did they expect? 20 cents.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. Didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravishell Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
It's the market doing its job. I'm sure the bear was doing its best. The bear was scary. Every time I saw that bear, I felt scared, like it could become alive any moment now. Well, I killed the bear. You unplugged it. I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
Wait, so it was a real bear? I just figured it was like a fake bear, you know, like a fridge in the shape of a bear. It was a real one? How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Megatherion. Okay, well, my vision beast is a... What was it called? A cockatoo? Cockatooey? My vision beast is a duck, by the way.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion. What's a vision beast? Very cool, but I don't want to hear about bears anymore. What's a vision beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life.
Ooh.
By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
I probably have that then.
The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
Grab your necktie and mumble, "Not now, you beast!"
What?
Do you ever feel like your vision beast is trying to blackmail the fun out of you? Nothing, cough and let go of the tie.
Right.
She doesn't look entirely convinced.
Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad, finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Well, I found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me.
She rubs her forehead. Her scarf has left a faint line on her dusty skin.
I think none of those doorbells work, including mine.
Yeah.
I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
I think the only one that worked was, wait, there was the one with Plaisance that worked, and then there was this other one, like that strange voice that talked to us. I can't remember what it was, though. This is one of I didn't write down. I'll have to go back and look.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
Yeah, this is the one. It's when I called Slipstream SCA. A strange thing happened when I tried calling them. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years.
She looks like she doesn't really believe you. Yeah, I might have been hallucinating that one.
Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
First, it wasn't Plaisance. I know her and I would have recognized her voice. No, she said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
There's a moment before she recognizes the name.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
Am I like a ghost from 100 years ago?
No, it was something else. It was eerie. Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
You're right, I probably just got made fun of. No, it was something else, something eerie.
Pranks can be eerie.
She looks as if she's still convinced it's nothing to be worried about.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
Well, I saw a name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell.
Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice? Don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball.
Okay, floriography, not a word. You could kind of say that about dice too, couldn't you?
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
What's wrong, Kim? Do you have a bad experience with pinball? We'll play some pinball at the Whirling in Rags together.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
Sure couldn't. I was wondering about the Whirling in Rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Dune commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
The darkness. So you're telling me that the doorbell with the empty name card was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
She nods as the wind howls in from the furnace shaft above. Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
Okay, well, Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. The curse is just biding its time before it strikes again. Sooner or later, everyone will fail, even her. I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. That's what I'm here to investigate. Yeah, she's kind of using her daughter to get more customers in, although it's not that strange to do that, but...
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Customers have trouble paying bills. Yes, but it's still a separate building. The malicious energies can't reach there. No, the Whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off for an unrelated reason, and customers have trouble paying bills, mostly just me. You're right, the Whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed. I mean, it is a separate building.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Okay, well, to be fair, if you don't pay rent, that kind of takes out a big chunk of your spendings right there. But it is surprising that you've been surviving 14 years here with just making dice as your income. Plaisance thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity. It's because you're competent and dedicated to your craft. The curse doesn't affect people like you. Well, the curse will get to you, have no doubt about it. It just doesn't care about earthly time frames. I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse. Yeah, maybe you should have a talk with Plaisance, like she seems to think you're a witch.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
No.
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I think it still might be you that's causing this. Narrow your eyes very mysteriously. I'm starting to see there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Honestly, I'm still not sure. This world is a puzzling place. Nah, not really.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
Now, is Plaisance going to believe me, though, if I tell her that? I don't think so. She's kind of drinking her own Kool-Aid, it seems.
Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
Yeah. Why hasn't her business failed? That's a shivers. Huh. So, they do show up in your map, even if you don't try them once. I was going to try it just so that, like, it would show up in my list, but it shows up even if you don't try them, so... Okay, that's good to know. Well, then there's no point to me trying it. Obviously I'm going to fail it. So let's just leave. Oh.
Kingdom of Conscience.
There it is. These pictures are so interesting.
The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change. It is control over yourself and the world. Exercise it. Look up at the sky, at the dark shapes of the coalition airships hanging there. Ask yourself, is there something sinister in moralism? And then answer, no. God is in his heaven. Everything is normal on Earth.
Okay, so something about centrism. I'm not really sure what you're saying here. Moralist dialogue options heal +1 morale. Learning cap for volition raised to 5. Learning cap for logic raised to 5. Moralist dialogue options, okay. Huh. Interesting. Well then, I guess that's all there is to see here. Let's go back downstairs, see if I can find a die. Like it might have fallen in here, right?
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
I can't find it. Well, god damn it. I guess we'll just go talk to Plaisance again then. She's not gonna be happy about what we found. Hello again, I'm back. Wait, let me just get my fucking flashlight out of... Oh, there's the die. Icosahedral red dye. This 20-sided die is made of bloodstone and inlaid with lapis lazuli. Its colors resembling police sirens. Its blue partner is missing. Kinda looks like the fire department arriving on the scene. Got fucked. Shit fingers. Note! Look at the map tab in journal to see which white checks I've opened. What? Are you saying I'm getting more white checks because of this die? Okay. Huh. Okay, well, hello, Plaisance.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus paused dramatically.
Yes, yes. How was it?
It was a charnel house of failed business enterprises leeching life energy from this bookstore. Honestly, a dump. Nothing to see there, just heaps of garbage. Someone should let the sunshine in. I am in no position to give out personal opinions. Leeching life energy, I mean, that's probably what she wants to hear, but honestly, it's just a dump.
But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Niha, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you. No, ma'am, I have felt her aura. She is not the one to blame for this curse. She may be involved, but I don't have a way to question the malignant entity further. I feel like I need to speak her language so that she'll listen to me. I have felt her aura, and she is not the one to blame.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She looks perplexed.
She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm.
Jeez, chill.
Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
Sire, my drama just being like, why don't you just lie? She says there is no curse because there are too many inconsistencies. She said it's just capitalism. Bankruptcy is a quirk of our economic system. The source is in the taxidermist's shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place. Honestly, I don't have an answer yet. There are still leads to be followed, like the strange radio computer thing. There is another entity more malignant pulling the strings in Martinez. Perhaps in my travels I will cross paths with it. I mean, I kind of want to say just the boring answer, right? Because that's like what I believe, but I don't think she's going to accept this answer.
Wait, what? The entire economic system is cursed?
Her entire face goes white as a skull.
This is a lot for her to pass.
I'm afraid that only world revolution can help you. Yes, the system must be cleansed of immigrant labor. No comment? It's true, we live in a precarious world, nothing ever turns out right, you need to get used to chaos. What I meant was, I found the source of the doom, forget about the economy thing. It's true, we live in a precarious world.
Precarious world? Economy?
She looks down at the pendant in her trembling hands.
I understand what's going on here. You went in there, rummaged around, and accomplished nothing. And now you're telling me these intellectual things to cover up for it. It's okay. You don't have to. I was wrong to trust another person. I will manage this psychic calamity as I always have. Alone. On my own.
As she has to, every day.
Thank you for nothing. Please, do buy some books, or be on your way.
She concludes, tucking the pendant away in her blouse. Well, I kind of expected that reaction from her, right? And it's kind of like the most boring outcome, I guess, but I don't know, I'm just trying to be straight with her. We did get like 70 experience for that, so...
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now. There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just too far gone into her own mind.
I do agree with that.
I am sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am. Can we go now?
Alright, farewell, book peddler. I mean, I could have like bullshitted her and be like, oh, there's more to the curse and I will find this other entity, but like, I would have never really found the answer, so... Trash container, I need a pry bar. Wait, didn't I already open this thing? You need a pry bar. I have a pry bar. Didn't I already open the thing? Hey kid. This is the logo of the municipality of Revachol.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags.
Open the padlock with the key?
With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid.
I guess I didn't do it because I was right at the end of an episode and I think I had to stop, so that's why I didn't do it.
Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Didn't I just have a premonition that there's something in there?
There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid.
Well, we've got to face the music, so open the lid.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
Ew.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Let's search the food waste.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey,
Kim, I'm sure you're so happy that I'm the one that has to rummage through this shit.
Nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this?
What?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Is that my badge?
Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Okay.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
I don't know what this is.
It is. Look.
Oh.
The plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there.
A miserable looking slip of paper sticks to the board.
If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
Must have been cramping my style. It has a foreboding quality to it. Maybe I needed to lose it for the great bloodletting to begin. What are you talking about? I think I didn't want to be a cop anymore, so I threw it away. Someone from their whirling threw it in the trash? I don't know, I'm boring. I'd rather not talk about it right now. I think I was suicidal and I just threw it away.
Well,
He doesn't know what to say.
His eyes express a rare condolence. Then he picks it up.
lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes.
I don't know, man. Sounds like an order. I don't take those. Okay, I'll do that.
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
He peers into the trash where soggy cartons and rags stink uninvitingly. Well, then I might find my badge in there too.
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are
Yes.
interactable. Go to
Yes.
your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
Yes, I know. Also, I have a new skill point, right? So let's get another thought. Let's get research time 7 hours. Let's try the Col de Mamadakwa. Alright, let's look under the boxes of carton.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Baptiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Let's pick at the rags.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers.
Don't wear the trash trousers.
As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer.
The lieutenant produces a black plastic bag marked evidence from his pocket. Okay, sure.
Guitar marked blue jeans. Pocket empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but
How perceptive of you, Kim. He looks into the container.
the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Let's reach for it.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
Ew. Bag the shirt.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
Okay.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that,
A thrown out towel, a mug, that's all.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
That force? This kid here? He nods toward the red-haired boy behind him. Yeah, we need to ask the kids who put them there. You think someone from the whirling might have been involved, maybe?
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
Yeah, you're right. So, like, for someone to throw them in the garbage, it had to be someone that had the key. I mean, they could have just seen them like on the floor there and they were like, oh, let's just put that in the trash, I guess. But no, because then they would have also seen the... Like, have they been using the container since the body has been there? I mean, I guess they kind of have to, right? It's been like a week. But still, that's like pretty... Ugh. That's pretty grim, like just taking out the trash while like there's a body hanging there. I guess we were really late to the scene. We need to ask the kids who put them here.
The fuck's he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
The mug, I'm getting that mug too.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron.
Ugh. I don't think Kim's gonna like that. An antique?
Only in its social sensibility.
The lieutenant briefly glances at the mug, then returns his sight to the trash.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
The lieutenant sounds relieved because it's like the first police work we've done this whole playthrough. Let's leave. So the guy is naked now? Is that what you're saying? Oh no, he has like pants on. These boots are so weird. Anyways, we'll be back for you. So what do we get? Oh right, my damaged ledger. This is the ledger you found in the trash. It's full of notes written in a man's dense cursive. Have a closer look. Maybe it can be salvaged to start keeping notes on the case. I mean, I think Kim's kind of taking notes for now, but sure.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you.
Thank you.
Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
Well, let's inspect all of it. Toilet paper?
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better.
Let's inspect the clip.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
Run your fingers across the aluminum.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property.
That what was so legit. He was like, what? He is lost in his own notes. It takes a moment for him to see it. Interesting. What kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
So you're saying it might have my address on it?
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
How can I read it?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Like from your car, right?
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Right, I could see my name and even maybe my address. That's all, thank you.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Let's browse the white papers.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Are they about this case? They're probably about like previous cases, right? What is in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you.
He's like, I need to mention they haven't been completed. They're only undertaken. So I guess I didn't finish any of them.
It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
I'm sure I made plenty of mistakes. I burned out all right. A nice brisk pace, the way I like it. Yeah, it does seem like I was having a pretty severe burnout.
That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
So much empathy coming from Kim. He is a really nice guy. He nods then turns back to his own case files. He's so tolerant and understanding considering like what a fuck up I've been.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
There was mention of a naming convention here?
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples.
Snoop fiction, huh? Oh my, and they're written in capital letters too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
How intriguing.
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the Ukar Parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
I love how you can just keep asking Kim about these things and every time he's like, huh?
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, I mean a non-numeric one with the titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Why is that?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
Well, Kim, I seem to have named the case the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself.
That could be a lot of cases also.
I pray his loved ones never find out.
Kim. You know, mine were actually a lot more creative than yours, Kim. I'm surprised.
Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Okay. Well, even with an incident like that, I'm sure you could have come up with a more creative name than that. Count the pages. I have to open an official case. Is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
I mean, I should probably just get like another notebook, right? This one's all gross and like moist and disgusting. I should just get a new one. But I guess I can't, so let's commit to paper.
Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil.
Oh.
It's unfitting of this monumental event.
Kim, do you have a pen?
The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt.
He sounds like someone who's very protective of his own stuff. Then again, he is letting us use his tools and his car radio, so...
It's downright incriminating. He has little choice but to give you one, although he really does not want to.
He's like, oh man, there's 2 pencils here, so I kind of don't have a choice but to give you one, but like I really don't want to.
He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
You know you have to give one to me, right? That is how human society works, I believe. So, can I have one? Fine, I'll just use this crappy pencil. Let's guilt trip him.
Absolutely motionless at first, then animated slowly, imperceptibly even. The lieutenant begins to browse his notes again, leaving you to the case files.
Wow, that didn't even work. Even with that, he still didn't want to give me one. Kim.
The threat has passed. He is thankful it has passed, and that he's gotten to keep both pens.
You cheap little bastard.
Onto the paper with a brash free hand, uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body.
Maybe eventually we'll get to it.
Interview the cafeteria manager.
Oh, you've done that.
It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place.
Let's cross out the ones we've already finished.
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
It would be really funny if like all of these here, all these tasks that are part of the menu, just weren't there until you found this clip, right? I almost wish it did that. Like, of course, as the player, the game wants to give you like a list of tasks, right? To help you navigate the game's world. But like, it would be so much more immersive if like you found this clip and then you start writing down notes and that's when your tasks show up, right? I kind of wish it was like that. Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
Ooh, the Hanged Man. The Furies are at home in the mirror. The setting sun or shit on a stick. Okay, kind of wish more of these sounded like the actual case. I guess we're gonna go with the Hanged Man.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too.
Wow.
The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now.
Oh, that's like the most animated I've ever heard you, Kim. It's like you're so happy we found this very boring name.
I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Okay, wow, we get a skill point from that? Damn. I guess skill points come very quickly if you actually do like the main path of the game. Well, let's unlock another thought then. Let's get the rigorous self-critique. I can research 2 at the same time, right? Yeah. There we go. Well, I'm done inspecting these.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Arson, petty theft. You don't exactly. Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back to January 51. Stamped, you don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Alright, can I read the case files now? This is Logic 3 +1. Kim explained the system.
Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the Next World Mural.
Wait, so officer and precinct, so Harry D, Harry something? Harry D B41.
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
And HDB, are we getting a name reveal?
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
Horus Debbie Berenger, Hram Darjan Binzikin. Those aren't my initials. I'm not feeling them. Wow, I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, I'm Horus Berenger.
That is improbable.
How long does it take to read a case?
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
Is this gonna take a really long time? Let's try one. The Next World mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne.
Oh, isn't that where Plaisance wants to go live?
Cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible, only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case.
Me and Jean Vicmar.
The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Wait, do I ever find out who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation.
Really?
This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3.
A plebiscite, you say? A vote by which the people of an entire country or district express an opinion for or against a proposal, especially on a choice of government or ruler. Organized by you and the rest of Row 3. Well, if there's so many complaints about it, I thought the people didn't like it, but it sounds like some of them actually did.
The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Am I voting now? A. Remove the mural, it is wrong. Keep the mural, it is right. What did it say again? True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. I mean, I'm for freedom of expression. You can write whatever you want on a graffiti, right? That's what it's for. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but you can keep the mural, sure.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority.
It's always how it is.
And that love truly is possible in the next world for new people. And it is too late for us.
I must have voted and possibly even lobbied to remove the thing because I don't believe in that rubbish one bit. I like it, but can't we wreak havoc on other nations instead? The middle class are not to be blamed. It's human nature. All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class. I don't think they're to blame.
Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done?
Alright, calm down, Mr. Ledger. The unsolvable case.
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable.
Well, I'm sure if me and Kim worked on it together, we could solve it.
Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration.
Well, why is it a case then?
The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
I still might, you don't know that. Couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is. Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years.
I feel like eventually someone's just going to take it into their own hands and like kill them both or something.
It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Special Consultant TH? Who is that? I don't remember any policemen with TH as their initial. Public indecency?
Good. You're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger.
Does he now?
He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it.
Yikes.
In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore.
That took a not-so-funny turn.
Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
How about that? We did solve it, see? All we needed was to beat the shit out of them.
Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Sure. Show me square bullet hole murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But?
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
A sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day.
One day we'll get back to the square holes.
One day you may still catch the man with the square gun.
The couch in an unexpected location.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They actually looked like assholes. They looked really cool, like models. They did look really cool, like a rock band. Sure?
Yes, as you said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was.
I mean, they're just chilling. What's the problem?
They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual.
I don't see a problem so far.
Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
Oh, because they would leave it behind? I just assumed they were transporting the couch to different places. Did I ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
It really is quite fascinating how, like, I've lived a full life, and now here I am with complete and total amnesia, and I'm just, like, learning about my previous life. But I get to have, like, a completely new personality if I want, and just kind of start anew, just like the Lazarette said. It's really strange. The murder at the hookah parlor.
Murder. Tum-tum-tum at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Well, then how do I know about this? Is it written in my notes, or did I just remember that? Right, on with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Can you get high off it?
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
Well, then that's stupid.
Yeah. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be?
Well, either he hit his head on something or like the shop owner had to do it.
Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
He sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table and died?
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that.
Okay.
Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
He must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
And what was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed, piecing it together. Next.
Has it really? Oh, geez. It's getting late. I can revisit this.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Okay, they really weren't kidding about half an hour. A bunch of time just passed. Shit. Browse the yellow papers.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
What types of forms are there?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
If you say so. This seems kind of vague to me. Misconduct fine?
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields, but they appear pleasantly vague.
So can I just hand these out now, or station call?
These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
Right, I remember Kim saying that like they don't really arrest people, they just give them like a station call and then most people just show up anyways. Feel the topsy?
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs.
I guess we're gonna need one of these soon. Enough of these.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys.
Yep.
The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
Look at the clipboard.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with.
As we know.
The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back, you see the embossed letters, RCM.
What did you say the color was?
Blue.
Okay.
The blue heart. Don't look into it.
The blue heart? What? Okay, shake the ledger.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly.
Ooh.
Is there a hidden compartment?
Yeah, there is.
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
What if my badge is in there? How would I open it?
With your hands. U4-sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board.
Open the hidden compartment in the clipboard. +2, crack it on the knee like Burke. -1, lonesome, long way home. Why do I have -1 from that?
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly,
I'm gonna break it, aren't I?
the slides snap back into place.
Ooh.
It should be possible to just,
You know. So let's slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
I hope my badge is in there. What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Okay, pick up the... Fucking kill your... What is that? What's that about? Why is that there? Who am I talking to? Pick up the card?
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it first?
It smells of chewing gum. Apricot flavored.
Oh.
Exactly like the gum wrapper
Yeah.
you found. The same brand of chewing gum.
Open it?
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile. You think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting.
So I must be remembering it somehow.
Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
But it will make me happy.
A merciful wind blows in from the Bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it.
What? Hold on to it.
Your hands shake, holding on to it. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Keep reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it.
It's such a nice thing to say.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark.
Uh-oh.
Small white dots appear.
Uh-oh, I'm having a fainting episode.
You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No. Hold on.
Hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Hold on to Kim.
Detective, is everything alright?
Nope. Kim, can't you see I'm fucking losing it here, man? Hang on to me, please. Fall sideways. Whoops. Excuse me? What's happening? Did I just die? What?
There is nothing.
Whoa, I'm not doing that.
Again.
Let's just lie there, passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's this?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And, who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water.
Slimy. Yeah, that's the stuff.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow.
The shadow.
Because it's always there.
White morning. Was that the X something?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape, its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Enough. Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Enough. Just lie there motionless until Kim wakes me up.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules. No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
Yeah, it's Kim. What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious.
Ooh.
Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Ooh. Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Okay, it's only been a few minutes, man. For having been through this myself in the past, like I've had fainting episodes before, it really feels like you're just falling into the void and like then it's just like nothing. It feels like dying. When you wake up, it feels like you've been sleeping for like days. You don't remember anything, even though it's only been like a few seconds because your brain kind of like reboots. It's very jarring. It's really unpleasant.
Drink. Water.
The lieutenant is extending a small canister to your mouth. How nice, Kim. He's taking care of me, even dragged my ass all the way here. How nice of you. Drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Why did it show the game's logo like that? It really felt like I just died. I guess I sort of did.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
I mean, we haven't been eating either, to be fair.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
Because I'm more important right now.
What happened?
I should ask you the same.
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
How long was I out? Just a few minutes, it seems.
10 minutes, maybe.
I came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant. I was dehydrated. It won't happen again. It was reading this letter from, like, what is that? Like my ex-wife of some past love? And just reconnecting with my past was like too much for my brain to handle, it seems.
That does sometimes happen.
Does it? He hands you the remains of your ledger.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
That's a great analogy.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Let's solve this case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Excuse me? The Ledger of Failure and Hatred can be used as an interactable and a tool?
Wow, you work hard.
I do?
Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide.
What hard work do I do exactly?
Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged.
True.
That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You ride.
I fucking ride till I die, bitch.
That's just what it's like. Life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco-Negros and the Solas.
Sure.
It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop, and a sprinter, and a money printer.
I mean, yeah, I did take that bribe from that Joyce woman. It wasn't a bribe, it was just a nice little gift. You could say I took some money from the Mañana guy, too. Oh, and then they're spawning stuff off of that suspicious Roy guy. I guess I've made some gills, sure. Wait, gills? Is gills like a word for bribes? I guess I've made some gills, sure.
Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy?
No.
Have you not gone into cardiac arrest?
Yeah.
Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth?
Yeah.
But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, ask yourself, are you rich?
No, I'm actually not.
That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that?
It's because of that guard guy riding my ass. The system is broken. There's a market for corrupt cops out there, but the immigrant cops have price dumped it. Fucking taxes, man. I don't know. Why am I so poor? I do know why. It's because I probably spent all my money on alcohol. It's my fault. Why am I so poor?
Because of the taxes.
Oh.
G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze. Aren't taxes almost non-existent in the Gossamer state that is Revachol?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, are there really taxes here? Really? Every time I wish so bad they said every time I fart. Ah, I would have loved that. I thought there were no taxes.
You and I both, but they got those indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax. This tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus, there's the stuff people in other countries pay for that makes them ask for more money from you here. The Gossamer state's a myth. In total, the coalition government is taking 98% of all your money.
I don't think that's true. No fucking way. I guess I'm a free market fundamentalist now. Are you sure? That seems like a pretty big number. This isn't helping me solve my money problem. It's only making me into a free market type. Yeah, you sure?
What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed.
Hey.
Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples?
Bleeding nipples are kind of a pain, but how will deregulation help with that? Opt-in, but only a little.
It's all about the tax issue, hustler. No other problem in the world is as pressing as top marginal tax rates. And don't you fucking forget it.
I know so many people who think just like that. You know, you've probably heard your parents or your uncles or like some boomer types out there just being like, the biggest problem in the world is taxes, man. Okay, well, thanks for that. Wait, I had like 2 items. Yeah, I still have this one. What is this? Oh, the yellow. Ooh, that does look pretty racist. This broken-eared mug somehow made its way into the Whirling in Rags dumpster. Can't imagine why. It depicts a person of Samaran descent frolicking in a field of saffron flowers, buck-toothed, and grinning feeble-mindedly. Seems to be a cheap knockoff of some colonial-era antique. Do I want to interact with that?
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
Well, there's quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all that content.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do. I'm going to push this into the face of every merchant I find and tell them, this is your inane ideology. The mug will be useful. By denouncing it, I can earn political capital to mask my badass hustling, i.e. fraud and embezzlement. The mug didn't belong in the trash. It was just a funny mug. Can't anyone laugh anymore? Oh, man. By denouncing it, I can earn political capital to mask my badass hustling. That's so funny. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do.
But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work. Just finish your case, detective.
Okay, I think that was like that moralist healing thing I just got, because I said something moralist. Okay, I should just... Well, maybe I can go sell it at the pawn shop. So, what's the deal with this shit? +1 Inland Empire, +1 Empathy, -2 Authority. This is the same ledger you found in the trash, only worse somehow. Makes you think about the letter, about the woman's handwriting, about not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. What if I interact with it again?
The ledger you found in the trash.
Let's smell the ledger.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner.
Sounds wonderful. Can I look at that letter again, or am I just gonna like faint again?
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
What is this? Why does it say this?
The words just crossed your mind somehow.
Who were they for?
Who do you think?
Okay, so probably me. I must have done something horrible and then like my wife left me and now I'm remembering how it's all my fault and that's why I want to kill myself. Is that what happened? Can I pick up the card again?
You stare at the card, willing your hand to move. It refuses. It's too much. Not a game.
Okay, I can't read it again. That was a one-time thing. Okay, let's
It's
close
slightly, ever so slightly, difficult to breathe once you've done so. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand.
Let's put the ledger away. So if I have it in my hand, it just gives me more Inland Empire and empathy? That's why it's a tool? Okay. Boy, that was something, wasn't it? Indirect modes of taxation. -2 empathy, cold-blooded. First, if you have a side bitch What? First, if you have a side bitch ideology cooking somewhere, don't sweat it. Fighting indirect taxation of the Gossamer state is compatible with all creeds. It's cool like that. You're a cool anarchist now. Unless you don't want to be an anarchist. Whatever. Stuff this meal ticket in your eye socket and let's see if we can steal some love back from the robber barons at the customs agency and the banditos at the Insulindian Financial Oversight and Competition Committee. Okay. This game is really like giving my mouth a fucking workout, pronouncing all of these things. White Morning. -1 authority. Little guy gets further and further away. You see yourself from above. You're passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Even from this distance, you can see your eyelids flutter at the mention of what? A great white object letting out its sweet smell like a lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend, a bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. So I have like this perfumed letter that smells like apricot. And is that what this white object is about, this letter? But then this made me want to drink, and so like this, I was gonna say this must have been what I was doing when I passed out in the hotel, but no, because this stuff was in the trash, so... Huh. Well, we're definitely gonna wanna internalize this one. I'm curious about that. A lot of these are giving me minus authority. Okay, it's almost time to go see the smoker on the balcony. Alright, I want to read the watermarks. Get in front of Kanima's headlights to read the halogen watermarks in your ledger. Let's do that. Oh, also, can I talk to you, Kim, about what just happened and, like, thank you?
Yes?
Oh yeah, I found out what the Pale is while you were gone.
Wonderful. What is your takeaway?
Wait, you're not surprised?
I can't stop a grown man from learning about the fundamental geographic and anthropogenic features of our world, can I?
I love how because of the existence of the Pale, everyone seems to be familiar with this name like anthroponetic, even though it's not something we ever really use. It is a real word with a real definition, but we never really get to use it. But in this world, it seems like that's kind of a common word they use to describe the Pale.
Perhaps I should have tried, he thinks. Perhaps I was overprotective, is what's insinuated.
I'm super cool with all of it. Where are we, Lieutenant Kitsuragi? It seems unreal. Does seem unreal.
It all seems unreal, Detective. In actuality, the Pale is no more unreal than, say, water or death. Or that we are stuck behind our eyes, between our own ears, talking.
He looks around pensive suddenly.
Excuse me, large topics are not my forte. You seem stable enough. Keep it that way. Now, was there anything else, or should we get to it?
Okay. Let's turn on the lights.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Kim, how do I turn on the headlights?
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He turns the preheater on, waits, takes out his keys, and says,
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage.
"Ah, Kim, you love your car so much."
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canadian comes to life with a whiny growl.
That's so loud.
The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Okay. Let's do that.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
There's a note of pride in the lieutenant's voice.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Look at the shimmering street grid.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Wait, look around you.
A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry.
Ah, Martinez.
He smells the air and says, "Where are we on this?"
Let me see.
He takes the ledger for a moment and inspects it.
Right here.
He says, his finger near the top of the map on a segment of coast jutting out into the great ocean. Seems nice. Seems like a shithole. I'm sure I've seen worse.
Oh, yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. The burnt-out quarter.
Let's look at the perforations.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
I thought this was gonna have my name on it. Tally up the different rows.
The first row has 18 dots.
Not bad.
Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet.
I don't know, I'm just saying. What about the next one?
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
Count them individually?
There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
Okay, what about the last row?
The last row has 3 perforations.
3, that's it?
That's it.
Hey Kim, what do all these holes mean?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do. It's meant.
Am I an alpha male?
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
He sounds genuinely impressed. Wait, 18 years I've done this?
That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
Got drunk like a megastar? I walked the land telling whores and liars of the end to come. There are 9,000 days remaining. Probably some boring office job. Same as everyone else. I feel like I just went around apologizing all the time. Do you really think I have any idea?
Fair point. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases.
Oh.
Closed is good. It means finished.
Damn.
You've got, let's see...
Hundreds?
Wow, more than 200.
Is that a lot?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
So you're saying I used to be a super cop? I used to be good. That's some solace, I guess. What's the last number? I don't think I can ever re-become this person. So you're saying I used to be super cop?
Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now, let's look at the last row. Right. Those are your confirmed kills.
Oh.
You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
So I'm a killer. I was expecting a higher number, honestly. That's not too many. So I've killed before.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
Okay.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident.
Yikes. It's obvious the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers.
But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
Have you ever killed... Yeah, you did say you killed one person, right?
Yes.
Declining to elaborate.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
How do you handle the strain?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others.
Why are you looking at me? It gives you a meaningful look.
Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Oh, maybe I should find a hobby. Hobbies are lame. Like what?
Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
No, let's get into it. Tell me about your hobbies, Kim. Keep taking care of your little car there, maybe? Maybe I should find a hobby?
Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves.
Oh, wow, are you saying that just because I have these gloves on right now? I wonder what he would have said if I didn't have those.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
I wouldn't think it's a jab. Maybe I should pour one out for the boys, the fallen.
If you want to pour out the booze you've been carrying around on duty, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
Yeah, let's pour one out on the ground, ceremonially.
A dark pool of cheap wine appears at your feet. It shimmers in the lights of the Kanema.
Did I even have alcohol on me right now? I didn't think I was carrying any. I don't think it's in my inventory. I'm sorry for killing you. The gloaming comes for all, but it came first for you. The gloaming? I've never heard that. The gloaming. Twilight dusk. Oh. I will make it okay with the power of rock and roll. Here's to you, honored dead. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to say at these things.
Neither am I. Are we done here?
Alright, thanks for this.
The lieutenant nods.
But I wanted to see my name. I thought maybe my name was going to be written here. Okay, let's go.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
He presses a remote control on the key.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page,
Oh.
to the right of the task description.
Really? My statistics. Oh. Name unknown. Rank unknown. Okay, well, I know it's Harry. Case solved. 216 years in service. 18. People killed 3. And then... Oh, okay. I guess these are like my replies. I've said a fascist thing. Okay. Okay, so all the 4 different... That's why I was being told I'm a sorry cop. It's because this one's at 5. And then communist at 6. More or less at 5. Are these all the different types? Good cop, bad cop, honor. Oh. How interesting. It's a way for the game to be a bit more transparent about like what it's keeping track of. That's nice. Well, we didn't really do that much today, right? We just read a lot of text, but that's kind of what every episode is like. But it's now 6 in the afternoon. Damn. I hope I'm gonna find some other ways to make money because I'm gonna burn through my money in hotel rooms pretty quickly at this rate. Still need to talk to Timmy Le still need to go talk to Gart again. Inspect the body, of course, and then explore some more. Tomorrow the waterlock's going to open, so still lots to do. It still feels like I'm just getting started with this game, like damn. Because most of this game is just like reading and text, you can probably like speedrun it in like 30 minutes, right? If you just go straight for like the main story beats and just skip all the dialogue, you can probably finish it very quickly. But of course, that's not where the fun is, right? The fun is in reading all this text and exploring this world. So that's going to be all for today. This was another very fun, very entertaining episode. Some nice interactions with Kim. It's nice to be able to find out a bit more about my past and like who our character is, although I'm not really sure. You know, I just now noticed that this picture that's being shown is like the Martinez district where we are, because you can see the statue there. Like it's very little, but you can see it there. And then like the various like you can see the little harbor with like a boat there. That's the Joyce's boat. And then they mentioned there was a church on the other side of the waterlock. And you can see the little white star on top of the church. I guess we'll be visiting that in the future. And then you can see like some skyscrapers in the distance. Like they've created such a fascinating world, and it's a shame that like this is the only game in the series. And of course, we're not going to explore the full world or even the full city in this game. And I don't know if there's ever going to be a sequel either. This feels like a one and done kind of game, but they've spent so much effort on creating like this very complex but very believable world. It's kind of a shame that we'll never get to explore more of it, but like more food for imagination, I suppose. But yeah, really enjoyed today's episode. I hope you guys did as well. Also, this is the second episode of the week, so I hope you guys are enjoying getting double the Disco Elysium per week. I know I'm glad to be playing some more of it. So yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I had fun playing this. Hope you had fun watching it, and I will see you in the next one for some more Disco Elysium. Take care, guys.